Hey Bearcat fans, welcome to another edition of This Week in Bearcat Athletics. I'm Matt Gaarder. Well, this week, the Northwest volleyball team will wrap up its season on the road with a couple of matches. Friday and Saturday, both Bearcat basketball teams will get their season started, and it's the Fall Classic 13 with a different look for Northwest this year. All of that and more coming up on This Week in Bearcat Athletics. 1 week after the backs torched the Missouri Western defense for nearly 400 rushing yards, the wide receivers took center stage against Emporia State for the Bearcats last weekend. Several acrobatic and athletic catches were made by several different wide receivers, and the Cats' 42-14 win over the Hornets. 10 different Bearcats caught at least one pass, and 4 different players caught touchdown passes against the Hornets. Bearcat head coach Adam Dorrell says he was pleased with the way the wide receivers stepped up last week.
I think they wanted to play well. I think they were disappointed a little bit in the week before, and it was a focus for them to catch the football and give our quarterback confidence in them. And so I certainly thought they did that immediately. Corey Jackson's catch was just huge. I just really felt that set the tempo of the day. Him and Bryce Young. Bryce made a great play, and so just we're really pleased with how they came back. And again, just their attitude towards how they came back. It's one thing to say, hey, I want to play better, but it's another thing to go do it and to have the confidence in yourself to get back out there and do it. So I'm very proud of them for being able to do that.
This week, the Cats will play at Arrowhead Stadium for the 13th straight year, but this year's game will be a little different. The first 12 games were against Pittsburgh State. This year, after the Gorillas decided not to play in the game in Kansas City, the Washburn Ichabods will make the short trip from Topeka, Kansas to match up with the Bearcats. While Washburn's record is not where they thought it would be this year, Dorrell says one big threat the Ichabods have is their running back, Bashawn Moore, who wants to set a record Saturday.
Their running back might be the best. He's certainly one of the best in our league. He could be the best. I don't know. We'll sort that out next Monday at the all-conference meeting. It's going to be tough, but he's running really well right now. He's battle-tested. He's already publicly said he's 125 yards away from setting the all-time school rushing record, and that he wants to accomplish that Saturday. We have a lot of respect for him. He's a kid that runs hard. He finishes his runs. Where I don't think he's getting enough credit, he's a very dynamic punt returner. So, my opinion is they're going to go as their running game goes Saturday. And that's probably all of us. I think a high 30-something and chance of snow. So I think we've really got to be focused on trying to limit him. It's going to be hard to stop him, but we just got to try to contain him, not just in the running game, in his special teams play too. And, after that, try to get him into some obvious passing situations where I think the weather's going to help both defenses potentially. So they're a physical blue-collar football team, and I think they're well coached.
The Fall Classic at Arrowhead will kick off at 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Both Bearcat basketball teams will take the game floor for the first time this weekend, with the Bearcat men playing games at home Friday and Saturday. 4 players that played significant minutes for the Cats last year are back for this season's run, with a solid mix of talented freshmen and a couple of transfers to fill shoes left open by graduating seniors. Bearcat men's basketball coach Ben McCullum says this year's team has mixed well in preseason practice.
The newcomers that we have are very high IQ basketball players, so they're able to fit with a lot of the returners, and the returners that we have are pretty high IQ too. This will be, as far as just basketball feel and overall basketball ability, probably the best that I've had. Now, in saying that, doesn't mean we're going to win more games. It just means offensively we have a natural feel. We're able to feel each other out and understand what the other one's going to do. We move the ball well. We've got good rhythm, good flow offensively. Now defensively, where the just toughness comes in, that's where we need to go a lot higher to be able to be successful in our league.
The men's team will tip off the season against Minnesota State Moorhead Friday night at 7 o'clock and Upper Iowa at 3:30 Saturday, with both games at Bearcat Arena. The Northwest women's basketball team will also mix several returning players with some freshmen and transfer players to try to improve on last year's 10-17 record. The women will open with a pair of top 25 opponents, facing Northern State Friday and Wayne State Saturday, both games in Wayne, Nebraska. They will then be at home Monday for a string of 5 straight at Bearcat Arena early in the season. Northwest's cross-country teams each placed 5th in the MIAA championships in Bolivar last weekend. Wick Cunningham finished all-conference for the men, placing 6th, while Ryan Cox was honorable mention all-MIAA after a 17th place finish. Ann Herbert was also named all-conference after her 6th place finish in the women's race. Both teams will compete in the Central Regional Championships in Wayne, Nebraska, November 22nd. Northwest Missouri State's tennis teams were well represented in team and individual ITA regional and national rankings released this week. The men's team was picked first in the Central region and 17th nationally, while the women's team was 4th in the Central region. Bearcat volleyball dropped a 3-set match to 17th-ranked Central Missouri Tuesday to open its final week of action. Sarah Donatel had 22 assists, 12 digs, 5 kills, and a block to lead the Bearcats against the Jennies. Bailey Vance and Shelby Duran had 16 digs each for Northwest as well. The Bearcats will wrap up the 2014 season with a trip to Lindenwood Saturday. That's This Week in Bearcat Athletics. I'm Matt Gaarder.